Yes, God. Yes, God. So I am here and sitting here talking to you guys. Let me make sure I have this thing on right because my settings can be a little weird. Let me make sure. Okay, my settings are what they need to be. Yes, God, that's cute. Um Audio. Oh, they got something else out here, girl. Wait a minute. Girl. They got out here. Come on, Miss Girl, done did some things to the things, girl, Miss Girl. Yes. Shall I'm on here. I'm trying to see if I can see myself in the members area just to make sure that I'm streaming and not I don't just think I'm streaming, girl, but I'm actually streaming, girl. Cause I can mess up some shit, girl, real cute. And I just want to be on here just for a few minutes because I'm already cute. Plus, I wanted to talk about some things, girl. Let's see. Let me go up under content. Okay, so it shows that I'm actually live. Okay, good. So my members will be able to see this later. So y'all, I didn't get to finish my commentary around JB's the mama, or mammy, Miss Angela Stanton King, and her homophobic rants and all that other stuff. However, since that last stream where we talked about that or podcast, honey, she has since done another rant. JB's has responded and talked to Hollywood Unlock about how she feels about it. And then Miss Angela Stanton, decides that she wants to get on Hollywood Lock Girl and wants to have a conversation. But it doesn't seem like a conversation was actually had because, baby, the way Jason shut that shit down because she was with this energy she came in, the energy was real messed up. It was real, very much she was being attacked and she was very much defensive. And he was like, listen, you can do all that shit on your Instagram and all them other places where you run the rules and it's your house, but you can't come over on my scene and run the house. You can't come through here with all that bullshit and debauchery, girl. You gonna have to act like you got some common sense around these parts. Real talk. Like real talk. But she just keeps going. It's like she's not learning anything. First, she puts up the post talking about how she feels like she's fearing for her life and that she bit off too much more than she can chew and how she needed help and that she really wants to help the LGBTQ community. And then she's still in this rant about, I'm not going to call my child by whatever that my child wants to be called. I'm not going to respect that. It's just all of that for me. It's just all of that for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of like over it. Like literally over it. You know what I'm saying? Like who freaking does that? Like seriously. Who freaking does that? Real talk. Like who does it? Like who just acts like this? And she calls herself a professional, a fellow politician, and like all these was like, girl, I don't. Girl, Angela, sit down and have several, several, several seats, girl. You are doing the absolute most. The absolute most. And girl, the part that was so funny, like I'm not gonna play the video because I want y'all to hear it though, girl. The biggest part for me was when Jason roasted the holy crap out of her ass on the show because she was just going all just cray. She was going like cray, literally just doing everything. And I was just like, girl, why? Let me take these out. Why is you doing all that? Why is you acting so crazy, girl? What's the tea? Like, what's your problem? And he couldn't even get a word in. So there was an excerpt that I had found on YouTube from Hollywood Unlocked. And baby, when I tell you he read her ass, and then after he read that ass, he went back and posted some pictures of her when she was in jail because he talked about the fact that she was in jail and that she probably had to do a little things while in jail to survive and live and Much on little carpet or what have you, girl. March on little carpet or something. You know, he was just like, here it go. So he was just, I was like, I'm trying to find the video. Hold on. I'm trying to find the video because I just saw it not that long ago. Let me look it up. Hollywood Unlocked and Angela Stanton. Oh, there it is. Girl, it comes up quick because people are looking at that video. He read, that's the full episode. Oh, hold on.
Welcome, best-selling author, political candidate, and mother, Angela Stanton King. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Of course. So you have been on the Hollywood Unlocked blog. You've been on the Hollywood Unlocked show. We just recently interviewed your daughter, JB's, who's been very vocal about her movement and the trans movement that she's a part of. And so we wanted to welcome you here because you've been talked a lot about, you haven't been talked to. And I just thought it was fair to open up the conversation to hear your point of view, as you are a very vocal person. And so I want to welcome you to the show.
No, thank you.
Very welcoming.
I appreciate it.
Very welcoming, but she was so dry. Like, why did she even get on?
You were, once I became aware of who Angela Stanton King was, it was when you were pardoned by former President Donald Trump. And when you were released, it almost seemed as if you had taken on the life of wanting to change the country and join, I think, the Conservative Party, right?
Well, just to clarify, I got released in 2005. So I wasn't released from prison when I got the pardon from President Trump. And it was my experience after getting out of prison and rebuilding my life and getting educated on politics that I decided that I wanted to become more of a conservative versus a Democrat. And I'd always been involved in the nonprofit sector and working in my community.
It sounds like a whole bunch of
that Congress would basically be the same thing.
Girl, it's how she just like did the absolute most. You hear me? Girl. And then as they went through the interview. Jesus, this is gonna be long, y'all. So it's not gonna be too long because I'm gonna just for a minute, but it's for members, and then I'm gonna post it, for everybody to see. But the members get to see it first. But girl, so they went on to talk, and then it got heated. And hold on one second. It got heated, girl. And when it got heated, she was trying to make a point about, just like if your mom, about Jason's mom and all these other stuff. Oh, girl, here it goes. It's right here.
To be clear, because there are a lot of articles and a lot of media reports out and a lot of people that try to make it seem as if I do not love my son or that I am against.
I don't think people feel like you don't love
I'm not against the
your
LGBT
child
community. I have plenty of friends. I'm sure you all know Kellen Derrick. Ask Kellen Derrick who helped him start his business in his basement in his kitchen. That was me. I got plenty of friends in the community. A lot of people
just not for my child.
My son to Shauna. When I met Shauna told me her name was Shauna. I ain't never been in Shauna pants. Shauna is my friend. Shauna is not my son.
But Shauna's trans. Like I said, not my child.
Mother. If there is a disorder,
you do what you want to do.
There is whatever it is that my son wants to identify with that leads him to believe that he is a woman.
Disorder.
And that process is going to lead to dismemberment or castration. As a mother, I have a right to protect my lifeline and my bloodline. Now, you can roll your eyes in the back of your head all you want, but I have...
Girl, and they not rolling their eyes. This was so funny.
I'm not talking to you two, sir. I'm talking to Miss Blue over here. I
wasn't rolling eyes at all.
As a mother, I don't have to agree, but it's not hate. It's not, and you also have to understand.
This is what
you also have to understand.
But this is what your child said about your relationship with the gay community, because they did say exactly what you just said. So I want to make sure to validate what you said. But this is what JB said on the show.
I saw it.
Y'all want to hear something crazy? Angela actually has a lot of gay and trans friends. Believe it or not. Angela has a lot of gay and trans friends.
JB's was like, I don't understand what her problem is.
She
like,
just did an interview the other day with Shauna Brooks. Do you guys know who Shauna is?
Yeah,
they know who Shauna is, girl.
Yeah. So trans
JB's is very well articulated.
She respects.
Oh, get out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah. She respects her pronouns. She used to do.
Like I keep telling people, it's all about.
Shauna as a she.
I'm gonna pause this for a second. It's all about like I've said this once before. It's okay. It's cute now, but just not in my house. That's how a lot of parents are like. And you have that right to do that. You have the right to be that way. You have the right to say, these are the rules for my house. And although I may accept other people, and although I might support them, like when it comes down to you, I'm not doing it. I'm not supporting it. You can't do it. And ain't nothing you can tell me that's going to make me want to support it. And that's not for my child. You know, so this is when you start getting into the mere fibers of people really understanding what people really feel, how they think, and how they really feel. So then it becomes a question of, okay, so you get to look at all your friends, and no tea, no shade, like it's until it hits home, honey. It's like you don't know how somebody feels until they hit their house. I had a conversation today, and I don't know if this is the best way to say what I said, and I meant it, non-disrespectfully at all, obviously, being a woman of the trans experience. But, we talked about trans people and sports and, gender identity and, what part of the sport should they be included in, excluded in, or excluded from, and all that other stuff. And it was a deep conversation. And I had made a statement. I said, well, there are differences. And I understand people's differences, and I understand where they're coming from. But I'm also like, shit, that was my niece in the match wrestling, and, she's frail and whatever. And then, my trans sister comes in, and she's one, or a future trans sister, because they're kids, wants to come in and just like bend her and break her back. Like, girl, no, my niece got to come up out of there. Like, it's touchy. And I feel like, I have a statement, and then when it hits home, it's like it's a different statement. And I struggle with that. I really do. And I think Angela struggles with that too. Like, she's cool with respecting everyone else's wishes. But when it comes down to your child, I just feel like your truest, rawest, most authentic thought and feeling is prevalent at that moment. And it may be uncomfortable for you to sit in it, but it is what it is. So they went on to talk on Hollywood Unlocked and Censored, and she was getting real heated, and she kept thinking that Blue was rolling her eyes and all this other stuff. And nobody was making faces. No one was rolling eyes. Nobody was doing any of that. None of that. They were listening very respectfully. But I think that she had such a high defense. Her defenses were so high that she just couldn't get out of her own way. So she just started just snapping off. So we're going to listen and talk as they continue.
Shauna, I didn't give birth to Shauna.
So she's talking about, you can't compare Shauna to my child. I didn't give birth.
Shauna. I knew my son had a penis before he did. What you all are asking me to do as a mother, you're asking me to lie to myself about who I know my son is. Now, he's beautiful. He has an awesome personality. He's intelligent. I love him.
I believe she does.
Agree with the confusion. Again, I'm his mother. Now, you all don't have to agree with me, but that's my child.
It's the confusion for me.
Did your mother agree with everything y'all did?
I know Damage has a question, and I want to be clear, Angela. I don't want to fight with you. I'm not here to force you to understand or believe anything.
Very respectful, Jason was.
Ask if we could try to all bring it down.
Yeah, she was like on high, like, girl, calm down.
I'm not going to attack you for being a gay man who believes that anybody who identifies however they identify should be respected as such, because that's what I believe.
So he tried.
He
definitely tried to like calm her down, try to make sure she understood that she was not being attacked. They're trying to have a conversation, just a general discussion. But
is it because you're a mother who's trying to hold on to the identity they want for their child and not?
And that was a good question. So, are you just
what I don't know?
He's trying to understand, why are you so against it? What is it? And I think that's a good question.
I'm a mother that knows exactly what she gave birth to. I gave birth to a man child.
But that's what you gave birth to. You can't tell. Okay, so when she said that, let's pause there. I gave birth to a man child. Okay, great. We know the gender you gave birth to, but you still can't say what that person spiritually and mentally feels like. You don't know that. You're not in their minds. You're not in their hearts. You're not there. Just like they don't know what you're going through and trying to understand.
that you are not a biological female. So
never said,
parent,
JBs have never said that
hold on, just like
she was a biological female, first of all.
You had been with women, like you gave yourself time to figure out what it was that you wanted.
Girl, it was just all of that for me. I'm really struggling and trying to understand Angela Stanton. I'm trying to understand where she's coming from a parent, because I'm not a parent. I'm trying to see her view, and she makes some points that I guess I could understand, but it's far greater than you, Angela. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than your understanding. And you keep saying that JB's is confused. That's confusing in itself. No, baby. JB's seems to know exactly who she is and has always known. And just because you feel like this is sudden and this is something that she's just now really venturing into, you don't know what's been in her inner thoughts and mind, all of, the corners of her mind all her life. You don't know that. We often hide so much from our parents because of the fact that we're wanting to protect them and we know they're not going to accept it. And then I can only imagine how JB's feels to see that, her mother has friends that she's supported in the LGBT, the alphanumeric community. And now she's transitioning, trying to find her way in this world. And she's not given that same, level of respect. And of course, Angela says, oh no, it's confusion. You're confused. Well, you're saying that everybody out there is confused. You're saying that your friend Shauna Brooks is confused. You're saying that everybody that you supported, they're confused, because they had to get to a point to where they got to a point where they start transitioning to become who they are, who the people you met. You probably didn't meet them prior to, them transitioning, but you definitely met them post-transition, and they've been very candid about that, and you respect them fully. But when you say the comments that you say about your child, just because you were there from day one, that should give you insight into the things that they've gone through. Instead, you're saying you guys are trying to get me to admit to and or call my child something that I don't believe. Okay, girl, we're not trying to get you to do anything. We're really trying to get you to be a little more open-minded about it. But maybe that's going to take time for you, and maybe that'll never happen. Maybe you're the type of parent that will put those demands or ultimatums on your children to where the children are left out and they're having to leave home and they're homeless, and they join different houses to find that connection, because of their parents not really being able to give them the support that they really need to move on in their lives to be thoroughly happy. It seems to me that you would really prefer JB's to do what makes you feel happy and live as a man and grow up as a man and give that whole illusion, and then maybe live the down low lifestyle and all this stuff just to appease you so that you're happy. Maybe that's what you want. But when does it get to the point where your child is happy and that's what you want for them? Your understanding is not the only understanding. Sure, that's what you know, but that's not it. Education throughout the years, as we've learned different things, history and all that, our minds grow. So education, as we become more educated, we learn and open up to more things. And you seem very close-minded because you just don't want to be in a space of understanding here. You just don't. They went on to talk more. On Hollywood Unlocked, and it got real heated. And she made a comment about, Jason's mom. And, Jason has been very, upfront about how his mom struggled with, abuse, drug abuse, things of that nature. And she made a relation. She was like, well, what if your mom wanted to be called a crackhead? Would you call her a crackhead? Well, first of all, inappropriate. I don't know how you felt that, was going to go over well. I don't know how you felt like that was going to desensitize the level of, everyone's defenses on the panel. I mean, you were defensive from the beginning. Why did you even get on?
If you decide to make this decision, this is not the time. You are too young. I don't think that he has lived long enough to make this type of life-changing decision. And as a mother, I have the right to say, son, I love you, but no, I don't agree with this lifestyle. Son, yes, I accept.
She does have the right to say that,
JVN, but I don't accept Boom Quisha. Maybe I don't like Boom Quisha. Maybe she got a nasty attitude. Maybe she disrespectful.
It's the Boom Quisha for me.
What you all don't have a right to do.
My family stayed out of my business during my experience, though, on my journey. That was the difference. My family didn't interject or disrespect my choices.
You're not allowing JBs to go through their transition because you're doing this and you're using their platform to go against. You're making it. So I agree with Jason with saying when to pause there. You know, this is more of a reaction discussion type video with my members that I'm going to post. But, you know, Jason was like, okay, but the difference is he was able to go through that moment and be able to maneuver through that process. And you're out here on these streets, baby, just going at your child. It's already hard enough for JBs to do what she's doing. And I think you're intentionally making it harder with your platform, trying to make it harder for your child. You're trying to bully your child into thinking the way that you want her to think instead of allowing her to get to that point. You're saying that she's too young. Okay, grant that. You may have a point. People go through phases. I understand all of that. I'm not going to take away anything that you're saying. But what I am saying, though, is you're not allowing her to have that moment because you are publicly attacking everything that she does. And she's already fighting against people and society and views. She doesn't need it from you. If you want to have that discussion or you want to feel that way, you can feel that way privately. Like she's going to have it hard enough. I don't think you understand how you are making her life even more difficult. And I think you don't give a damn, honestly. You want what you want. You want the narrative that you want. Not saying that you're wrong, not saying that you don't have a right to feel the way that you feel because you do. That's your child. However, your child also has a right as an adult to go through and find their way just as you had to. Make their mistakes if it's a mistake and find their way out of it. Yes, as a parent, you are to help them try to maneuver them from making those mistakes, but you can't. So once time passes, and this is JB stays the course, and she does what she needs to do, and this is who she is, will you then accept? No, I don't think so, because it's not about time. It's not about, you know, her being sure. It's about making you feel comfortable and you being happy with it, and you're just not going to at all. Jason continued.
Sexualities.
Because your family was like that, is our family supposed to be like that? So because your mother didn't care whether or not you would
didn't care yourself,
does that mean I'm not supposed to care?
It's the didn't care who.
My mother wasn't in prison like you. She was on drugs, so she was in prison by drugs. So both of you had your own challenges.
Yeah, I never smoked crack.
But I'm sure.
Yeah, I got money.
My mother.
A lot of people with money smoke crack.
My mother did heroin. She did all that, but she also birthed me. And she birthed me and brought me into a world that allowed me to figure out who I was. And I'm not saying
Jason Speed.
Mother or a bad mother.
He did not attack her at all. He was very understanding.
Any guest that's been on the show.
Very
understanding. Trying to understand is your daughter, your child, does not identify as Bonquisha. Your daughter has said, call me JB's. Right. I am she.
I am
she. I said because I gave him his name, right? Me and his father picked his name out, spelled
not that she done pulled out a birth certificate.
We gave him his name. We have the right to call him by that name. Now, are you saying as a mother that I don't have the right to call my son by the name that I gave him at birth? It ain't been no name change and it ain't been no transition. So why are you all asking me to respect something that's not even real? It doesn't exist.
My answer to that is yes. If your daughter, your child wants to be called what she wants to be called.
Oh, here's the part that it just went left.
If your mother want to be called a dumb crackhead, is that what you gonna
see?
I'm saying.
See?
Wait. My mother is.
You just asking. It's the tone.
No, I don't have to call my son what he wants me to call him just because he asked me to.
I'm gonna give you your answer, but see, the problem is you want to come into
Jason tried. Jason, you tried.
Instagram, and this ain't your house. You're a guest. And I don't know how people come into your
house.
You don't? He said you don't.
You don't have to be.
Y'all go out there and watch it, baby, because I'm not gonna do all that. Jason said you don't have to be a guest. You can exit stage left, bitch. You can bitch boo bye. Bitch boo bye. Bye, girl. Why did you even get on here with all that goddamn energy to begin with? Why did you get in here with all that? Girl, bitch boo bye. Angela, why? Why, girl? Why you do all this to begin with, girl? You just keep inserting foot in your mouth. We get you a parent. We get you got rights. We get you got all that, but so does JB's. JB's, I need you to go on and do what you need to do. Baby, you transition and take your time. Don't rush. Because I don't need you looking crazy like some of the girls. I'm just going to be... Don't get this old build the block type booty and body. Girl, make sure your legs and your booty and all your thighs match. Girl, make sure your physique and your shoulders, they match. Girl, like, take your time. Don't be in a rush. Don't have this microwavable body because as you're on hormones and as you move forward, your body is going to do its own little thing. It's going to blend with it. You want to wait until it does what it needs to do. And then if you want to accentuate some things. And then we're going to check back in a few years, honey. And we're going to see what Miss Angela Stanton King is actually gonna say at that time. Girl, she may never get to the point to where she fully embrace you as the woman that you are. And I hate that for you. But this is something I know that you've dealt with, so I know you'll be fine. Keep your head up, girl. Do your thing. But ooh, Miss Mama. And I know this gotta be hard for you to like hear people talk about your mama because you know her a different light than we do, you know. This is a tough pill to swallow, and I'm trying to let this go, but I can't because she's just so vocally out there making matters worse, even for herself and her child. Like, girl, don't you have a job? Aren't you doing things? Like, aren't you in a position of leadership? You said you have money. Okay, we're going to work on continuing to keep that money. Work on continuing to focus on your businesses. Let this die down and let your child work through their processes and all this other stuff. But you keep getting on these having these discussions, and you know people going to come at you, girl. I don't see how this helping. I'm not saying just hush, but sometimes you got to know when to fold them. That's all I got to say. Sometimes you got to know when to fold them. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I got to say. I done did my little few-minute rant, girl. For my members to see it, I'm going to give my members time to watch this, girl, and then I'm going to post it out there next week or something. But, girl, I'm going to bed. Night, y'all. This is too much. Even for my soul.